Photographers are starved for attention. We need validation. We need people to look at our pictures. Not just simply so they can see the place we traveled or maybe a funny thing we saw, but it's so they can see us. We want to be understood. But that's not exclusive to photographers. That's the case for all of humankind. When we complain about not getting enough engagement on Instagram, it's because we're just really worried that we aren't being seen. We made something that matters to us, but often it feels like it doesn't matter to anyone else. And that hurts. Ultimately, Instagram is a flawed setup for being seen because it needs to be fed. It needs us to keep posting content in huge volumes. But often for artists and photographers, it's not simply just content that we're putting out there. It's us. It's who we are. It's a piece of ourselves. Which is why social media for artists especially feels so painful and it's such a great source of stress. But you know what isn't a huge source of stress? Hopefully. Double Negative, a photography podcast by Will Malone, with your host, me, the titular Will Malone. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I cracked the code. Truly. I figured it out. Well, actually, society figured it out, like in the late 1800s or early 1900s. Basically, we figured out a way to share images that satisfy and mean something to both parties, to people on both ends. You see, no one wants to be shouted at. No one wants to say, hey, look at this thing I made. For instance, when me and my wife were on our honeymoon in Hawaii some years ago, over a decade ago, we dropped by the Ala Moana Mall because I think I needed like pants or something. A very aggressive man selling lotions beckoned us over, and because I felt somewhat shamed and didn't have the guts to avoid the situation, I found myself having to like try on lotions or whatever you do with them for like way too long, just because I couldn't say thanks but no thanks. This interaction was lopsided. The guy needed me to buy his lotions, and I needed to be somewhere else. Anywhere else. We weren't connecting, so this interaction was never going to end in a satisfying way. And that's photography. We want people to look at our photos and feel the way that we feel about them. But honestly, what's in it for them? We're expecting the viewer to give us something, whether it be likes or whatever else. But unless the photo is mind-blowing or amazingly gripping, we aren't really giving the viewer that much in return. So no one is happy. But there's a solution. Postcards. Postcards are the key. Everyone likes mail. Everyone likes to know that someone is thinking of them. And they're actually a really great vector for sharing photography. They take effort. You can only send as many as your hand can write. But the action of putting pen to paper directed at one single person, even for a short note, I think is an incredibly meaningful thing. Maybe even more meaningful than it was in the early 1900s. When I started getting into postcards, I didn't realize their power until I started receiving them from friends. I was sending them out just because I thought it was fun and nice, but I was surprised by the people who would go out of their way to send me postcards back. Now I have a couple friends who, anytime they go traveling, they go out of their way to make sure to send me a postcard from their trip. It's really nice. And a lot of postcards have really bad photography on them, which is also similar to Instagram. But paired with a note from a friend, art criticism kind of dissolves away. The quality of the image almost doesn't matter at all. When photographer Stephen Shore decided to make a series of postcards out of mundane office park buildings in Amarillo, Texas, he thought the art world would eat it up. So he ordered like, I think 5,000 of each, I believe. Turns out no one wanted them. So he spent the next few years dropping off his postcards in random shop spinner racks, just leaving them in different places across the country. Postcards, I think, are a classically disrespected art form, taken completely for granted. But now, when most mail is mainly just ads from American Express or a local landscaping company telling me I need to mow my grass, I think mail is just a really amazing canvas for injecting some art into our everyday lives. It's a way to be seen, but with one big caveat. You see, for the magic of a postcard to work, you have to be thinking of someone other than yourself. And you're not going to get massive engagement. It's a lot more work for one single like. So, send a postcard to someone this week. It doesn't matter where you get it. Get the cheesy ones from your local visitor center. Sometimes the worse the postcards, the better. If I were to get anything out of this video as like a call to action or whatever, I'm happy to make money off of my postcards. I sell postcard packs on WomenAlone.com that you can go buy. If you don't have postcards on you and you want to send some to your friends, then you can go to WomenAlone.com and buy some. But even better than that, what I would prefer personally is that go to my Instagram at WilmAlone and DM me your address so that I can write you a personalized postcard for free. No strings attached. This is just a thing I've been doing and it's fun. I really enjoy it and it's really gotten me to connect with people that I wouldn't have otherwise. And also it's just fun. It's nice to receive a postcard and it doesn't take that much time to just do that, but it feels really good on both sides, I think. It's way more fun for me to write a single postcard to somebody than just simply selling blank postcards to people. Which again, if you want to buy postcards for my website, I'm not going to stop you. Great. But I'd rather send you a postcard with a note on it. That would be more fun. Thanks for watching. You can go follow my weekly newsletter over on Substack. It's called the Double Negative Dispatch. And you're going to want to keep it locked there because I often put out calls for free postcards, reminders of what I'm doing, where I'm sending postcards to people. So that's usually where I put it out first, is on my free newsletter. So go subscribe to my Substack. You can also become a paid member if you want some extra stuff, maybe some extra podcast content. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And again, I thank you for watching, and I will see you again very soon.